techniques.
But
Just
after
keep going.
they take all the students, the organizers feel like they need to have an outlet to provide sustainable living for these youth. So they created this circus. So the circus is not created for tourists per se. It is created for the Cambodians. And we're joined by Craig Dodge, who's the director of sales and marketing for Phare, the Cambodian circus. I was just telling our audience, say hello to our audience for
Hello,
all
audience.
the social media, CGTN.
Hello, world.
I was just telling them this circus is special in the sense that it's not created for tourists. It is created for Cambodians.
Right. It's part of what makes it a very authentic, unique experience because the show were all created at the school where the principle is art therapy, using art to overcome difficult situations and learn to express yourselves. So a lot of the creation process is the artists and their teachers kind of talking about situations, working through it, and creating a performance around it. So
I think it might be useful to explain to our audience about the creation of Phare, the community school, and Battambang, which is the second city in Cambodia, right? So how did it come about?
Sure. So the organization in Battambang, it's called Phare Circus, which roughly translates to brightness of the arts. The founders were refugees during the war. They were in one of the refugee camps on the other side of the Thai border. In the refugee camp, there was an art teacher from France, Véronique de Cropp, that used drawing as therapy for the young kids to get through the trauma. And it really affected them profoundly. When the war was over and then a few years later the camps closed down, people kind of scattered. A lot of people, even if they weren't from Battambang, ended up in Battambang because it's very close to the border. She went to the Thai border. So she went to find them and did, together with 9 of the refugees, create the school.
And that's around 1990s?
Yeah, it was originally 1994, I think, was the year it was founded. They just had their 25th anniversary this year, so, And, the idea was now to use art to heal the community after the war.
Because these group of children, they're neglected. I mean, their parents were struggling for their basic needs. And
sure, it was a genocide. A lot of them lost their parents or lost a lot of their family members. The country's economy was devastated. Arts basically ceased to exist because if you were artistic or educated, you were a threat to the Khmer Rouge. So anyone who was artistic or educated or wore glasses was killed.
Intellectuals.
They were killed. So, Phare, among a few other organizations, are sort of on this rebirth, the cusp of the rebirth of arts in Cambodia. So, Phare Cambodia Living Arts are 2 big ones.
And then from that parent NGO company, Phare Circus is a social enterprise. And how long have you been operating in Siem Reap?
Right. Well, so let me back up a little bit because, like we were saying, the school, the idea is therapy. It wasn't started as a jump-off point to become a performing artist. It was to express themselves. But what the school found is some of the artists did become talented, very extremely talented. So they started to worry about their future. The school thought there's no jobs in Cambodia, especially not in the arts. So what can they do to give them a future, to make their hard work worthwhile? And so they came up with the idea of having a nightly performance. They picked circus instead of the other performing arts because nobody's doing it and it's fun. And they picked.
Was the first circus in Siem Reap?
So there's a circus school in Phnom Penh, the National Circus School of Phnom Penh, but they don't have regular performances. It's very, very occasional performances. And it's also a different type of circus. It's more like a Vietnamese or Chinese style of circus. What Phare does is it's really more storytelling that just happens to use circus and drama and dance to tell the story.
I want to ask you, so you told me, like, we were talking about these artists are very talented. You told me that they just came back from Marseille in France, so they tour the world, tell Cambodian stories, right? So it's not just they're jumping for nothing.
It's another part of the experience. I mean, for the artists that do sort of discover themselves and discover a talent and develop it, they're able to make a good living by performing here. They're among the best paid artists in Cambodia, aside from maybe the TV superstars. But it also has given them some life experiences that they wouldn't have had. So international travel was so far out of their their thinking. That they never imagined being able to travel to a foreign country, and now they travel, if not frequently, at least occasionally. So as I was sharing, this group just got back from Marseille. We have another group that's going to the U.S. next month. We've been to Australia. We're going back to Australia at the end of this year. Korea, Singapore. So they never, it's just another part of life experience that they're able to have, because without this, they might have never left their family farm.
Right.
They might still be collecting trash for recyclables.
I want to ask you, so we have been here for a few days. We've seen some amazing stuff, the magnificent temples, but at the same time we also see lots of poverty. We see around the temple estate lots of children trying to sell whatever they can, souvenirs,
right.
$1 or $2.
Right.
So what's the economic drive of this country? What's the future like for the Cambodian youth?
Well, tourism is still the largest, export. They make the most money off of tourism, but there are some manufacturing down by Phnom Penh. Arts was never really a viable career opportunity. You go to some of the Apsara dinner dance theaters, they might only make a couple dollars a show, so it's not something they can do to support themselves. What our mission is to give them jobs that not only can they support themselves, but they can thrive on it.
Right.
So some of them have been able to buy land.
Career,
right.
A job.
Right. So it's hard. It's Cambodia is still struggling. There aren't a lot of jobs.
So you were explaining to me a lot of the musical instruments were designed and built by the circus itself. You want to share with us, what are they doing? What is tonight's show about?
Sure, it is fun what they do with the music, because you can see that on the right is a runyat. That's a very traditional Cambodian instrument, and on the left you have PVC pots and stuff. So in all of our shows, it's like a mix of traditional, modern, just outside the box kind of instruments, and it's all original.
And the story, artistic director, are they from Cambodia as well, or you have a consultant?
Yeah, so the head of the circus school is one of the original founders of the school. He didn't have a circus background, obviously, so he did get some training at that circus school in Phnom Penh. So a lot of the creative process comes from him. It may start with him, but it also starts with the artists from their own life experience, which makes the performances also very authentic, because they're telling audiences their own story. Their story. It's not something they read in a book. It's not something somebody gave them on a script and said, here, perform this. They created it. So it's real. So it does come from the founder. It comes from some of their coaches. There is also some outside consultants, visiting artists from France or United States or wherever.
So these artists, they join the community school around at what age?
Wow, any age. In Cambodia, it's really hard for kids to go to school because their parents need them to earn money to support the family.
School is relatively free, right? The public schools.
It doesn't cost out-of-pocket money, but it's a cost in having their child not helping them on the farm,
right?
Or not selling souvenirs to tourists, or not collecting recyclables. So anytime that they're spending in school, they're not making money to support the family today. It's really hard, I think, for poor Cambodians to be forward-thinking, to say school is an investment. And I would say it's especially difficult for young women, because there's not only that economic pressure, but there's social pressure, because it's a conservative society.
So they're supposed to stay at home and look after the brothers.
Right. So dance is one thing. So Srinoit is a dancer. It's a little less, I don't want to say scandalous, edgy. But a female circus artist is really pushing the envelope, because, when you're doing acrobatics, somebody may have to catch you, or you're doing contortion, you're twisting your body in a certain way that maybe some traditional Cambodians might find, not socially acceptable. So we have a hard time, not a hard time, it is part of the process that the school tries to recruit students by supporting the families, because that's one of the biggest obstacles.
Right.
So maybe with bags of rice or other ways that they can.
Can we talk to the female dancer? What's her story?
Should we call her over here?
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Oh, this is very nice. She's a traditional dancer, so.
This is our translation song. Sorry. So Greg was just telling me that in Cambodia it's not traditional to have a female circus artist. Why does she want to do this?
តាម Greg បានប្រាប់គាត់ថានៅកម្ពុជាយើងមិនសូវមានស្រីជាប្រពៃណីមិនសូវមានស្រីហាត់សៀកទេមិនបានជាក្មួយឯងមកហាត់សៀកអញ្ចឹងតែប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំមិនជាអ្នកសៀកខ្ញុំជាសិល្បៈតែដោយសារខ្ញុំចូលរួមដល់ដៃជាមួយសិល្បៈរបស់សៀកអញ្ចឹងតែខ្ញុំត្រូវតែបង្ហាត់ខ្លះៗ Actually, I'm the non-circus player, but because I'm the artist, I'm the dancer. Because I joined with the circus, and that's why I do the rehearsal, practicing a bit as well.
Since she was little, was she always like interested in dancing, around?
តាំងពីមួយស្រីអីនៅក្មេងចូលចិត្តអារម្មណ៍ឬក៏ហាត់អីចឹងដែរអត់ទេពីក្មេងៗណាតែពីនៅហាត់បានតាំងពីក្មេងៗពីអាយុSince I was about 12 or 11 or 12 years old, I do this dancing, the artist. Yeah,
How does her family feel about it?
និយាយបានវិញទៅមើលទៅក្រុមឪពុកម្ដាយរបស់ក្មួយមានអារម្មណ៍យល់ឃើញយ៉ាងម៉េចពេលឃើញក្មួយមកហាត់របាំអញ្ចឹងគាត់អត់មានចៃអីទាំងគាត់មានអារម្មណ៍ថាខ្ញុំតែជំរុញខ្ញុំឲ្យមកខំតែហាត់របាំទៅគាត់ស្រឡាញ់ខាងរងខាងអីគាត់អត់ថាអីតែដែលខ្ញុំអត់មកហាត់អីចឹងគាត់តែគឺថាមិនមកហាត់គាត់តែ
Where did all the circus artists go?
Just me?
Where did everybody go?
No, my parents didn't say anything. They sometimes encourage me to do the dancing.
No, till 5 o'clock.
Sometimes I don't do dance. They ask me why I don't come to dance. Why was I absent? For what? What reason? They are absent from the dance schools.
What does she? Is this a career, lifelong career for her? Is that something that she wants to do, continue doing?
មើលចង់រំចឹងរហូតមកជីវិតនឹងទេការឆ្លៃអាជីពនឹងទេវាយ៉ាងម៉េចទៅចង់ធ្វើការងារផ្សេងចិត្តតាមចិត្តខ្ញុំមួយខ្ញុំអត់ចង់ចោលទេនៅតែបន្តប៉ុន្តែអាចធ្វើជាអីផ្សេងមួយផ្នែកក្នុងផ្នែកសិល្បៈចឹងតែបើសិនជាខ្ញុំមានឱកាសខ្ញុំថាខ្ញុំអាចរកការងារអ្វីដែលក្រៅពីនឹងទៀតផងខ្ញុំចាំផងខ្ញុំទៅខាងមុខទៅមកអាចខ្លាចទទួលរបាំម្នាក់អីចឹងទៅអាចផលបើអាជីពផ្សេងខាងក្រៅទៅទៀតស៊ី Well, I wouldn't give up this the career as a dancer because in the future I want to be the dance trainer. If I have a if I have a career as a trainer, that's fine. Also, I have other business and other stuff, but I wouldn't give up this kind of thing.
What is her dream?
សម័យទៅចង់ធ្វើការងារអីទៅពេលកំបុកដែរសម័យការសម័យការសម័យឥឡូវអត់ទាន់ខ្ញុំមិនគាត់ថាសម័យមុនមកចង់ខ្លាចជាអ្នករំម្នាក់ដែលអស់ផ្សាររំម្នាក់ដែលស្អាតហើយមានគេគ្រប់កន្លែងចូលចិត្តច្រើនហើយគេទៅណាទៅនេះគេស្គាល់ច្រើនហើយមួយទៀតពេលដែលខ្ញុំបានហាត់ចឹងទៅខ្ញុំមានមោទនភាពខ្លួនឯងក៏បានជួយលើកស្ទួយវិស័យសិល្បៈខ្មែរកុំឲ្យវាបាត់បង់បើសិនជាព្រោះឥឡូវវាមានការខែថ្មីឥឡូវគាត់អត់ទៅលក្ខណៈថាចូលចិត្តណាគាត់តែថាចូលចិត្តជាសាខាងក្រៅរបស់គេមកបត់ទៅចឹងគាត់ជួយទៅអ្វីដែលជារបស់តបថាខ្មែរគាត់បានជួយចិត្តលើកស្ទួយអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំជាកូនខ្មែរម្នាក់អញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំថាខ្ញុំអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំខំប្រឹងវាតាំងពីយូរណាស់មកហើយអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំមិនចង់ថាវាភ្លេចវាចោល Yeah, my dream now is not that big, but in the future I want to continue to dance to become one of the famous dancer and also well known. Everybody quite know me as well because I want to support this Cambodian traditional dance. Not many young Cambodians like me, they're supporting our culture like this. They always copy from outside culture, but for me, I want to support our own culture. I still will continue to dance more. I won't want to give up now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. So, Greg, I noticed that when outsider people, when they talk about Southeast Asia, they look at Southeast Asia as an emerging market and an economic bloc that has seen 5% of GDP growth year after year. But there's so many local stories to be told, right? I mean, these youth. So what's for Cambodian youth? What are they talking about? What's their top concern?
Wow, that's a big question.
Good question.
Yeah.
From your personal experience, you've been living in this part of the world for many years, and you've been in Cambodia for more than 7 years.
I mean, it's hard to say, because it's not one unified block. So as you say Southeast Asia, yes, there's a growth market. Cambodia, and the economy does grow at a faster rate than what maybe it does in a developed country because it had nowhere to go but up. But, it's interesting. I think all the young people that we come in contact with are all quite different. I still think a lot of them are in survival mode. It's really hard for them to think of the future. So it's really lovely to hear people like Srinoits talk about a future, right? Because I don't think there aren't a lot of opportunities for Cambodian artists to make a living off of doing what they do. So this group that you guys are seeing here, they are special. They do have some maybe bigger or different kinds of thoughts than a lot of other Cambodians. A lot of other friends I know just outside think that the opportunity is in banking. So a lot of them go study accounting and try to get jobs with banks. But, that's also a limited thing.
Do you see there's a lot of pride in their culture? Like the more and more young people are thinking about what it means to be Cambodian. Or do you think they're not there yet?
No, I think that's coming back. The young people are still struggling. There's still a sense of hopelessness and frustration because there aren't a lot of opportunities. But like when I see these guys go overseas, they take a Cambodian flag with them, and they do photo ops with the Cambodian flag all over the place. So through these opportunities, there is a sense of national pride that's coming out. That's very cool to see. Also, in terms of like resurgence of arts, so you hear her talk about pride in traditional arts. There's also like a lot of contemporary arts that are coming up now that weren't here before. There's a group called New Cambodian Artists, for example. They're classically trained female dancers that have taken it to a different direction. They've taken it to contemporary dance and fusion and
the traditional Khmer dance, but they add into the modern.
Right, into very modern contemporary dance. So there's a bit of that. Bamboo Stage also has taken shadow puppet theater, which is a very traditional Khmer art form, and they've also added drama to it.
Hello.
So here's Chanda. He's the musician composer.
So can you ask him? He composed the music that we just heard, right?
អូនឯងជាអ្នកនិពន្ធបទភ្លេងមែនទេបាទបទភ្លេងមិនមែនតែយើងស្ដាប់នេះនិពន្ធណានិពន្ធអូនឯងបទភ្លេងដែលខ្ញុំសមលេងនេះគឺមិនមែនជាបទក្នុងធ្វើជាបទបុរាណតែគាត់ថាជាលក្ខណៈសមជាក្រុមតែបទសម្ដែងផ្សេងបទដែលសម្ដែងផ្សេង The musician I just play is not I compose myself. This is the old musicians, but we have others music as well. This is for the rehearsal.
That was classic.
Classic for the rehearsal.
So for his music that he composes, where does he draw inspiration?
ខ្ញុំមានបទភ្លេងនៅណៃនិពន្ធហ្នឹងតែណៃយើងចិត្តដាក់ទៅលើផ្នែកអេដែលនិពន្ធផ្នែកអីដែរគឺខាងសម្រាប់ក្រុមសម្ដែងនេះខ្ញុំយកចិត្តទៅដាក់ទៅលើផ្នែកបុរាណខ្លាំងជាងពីព្រោះយើងលេង modern ច្រើនពេកយើងអាចភ្លេចមកសម័យបុរាណរបស់យើងអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំសាររើបុរាណមកខ្លះមិនជាមួយនឹងសម័យខ្លះបុរាណខ្លះបញ្ចូលគ្នាដើម្បីលេងតែខ្ញុំយកបុរាណច្រើនជាងសម័យ For the musician which I compose I select the old songs music I like to use the old music than the modern or the compulsory contemporary music. We'll mix a little bit between the old and the contemporary music. ឧបករណ៍បុរាណហើយដូចជាពិនខ្មែរយើងនៅបាត់បង់យើងសាររើយកវាលេងមកលេងវិញដើម្បីឲ្យពិភពលោកស្គាល់ពីឧបករណ៍របស់ខ្មែរយើងឲ្យកាន់តែច្រើន So we have the instruments the Khmer instruments pin which mean there was kind of danger the pin not many Khmer well known so now we
the English name is dulcimer.
We keep this one.
So you
revived
we
reserve the pin ហើយនឹងឧបករណ៍មួយចំនួនទៀតដូចជាធុងជ័រនេះគឺកំណត់កែច្នៃដែលយើងរកកុំឲ្យដូចគេគឺយើងរកអ្វីដែលប្លែក You can see that the rest of those instruments like the plastic container it's our creative we want to make it unique from others
Why there's rice is you're using rice for tonight's show, right?
Right. So the Cambodian, the economy, the culture, everything revolves around rice. So rice is used throughout the whole performance, including the visual arts that I was telling you about.
This is a handmade. They already use.
That's recycled.
Recycled, yes.
And what are these all traditional musical instruments?
Yeah, ini upkar boran yang satu ni. Yes.
What about this one?
Yeah, this is also traditional one. There was in the carving, the temple, Angkor Wat also carving with this, a symbol of this.
Can you make few notes for us? What's the name of this?
It's been like instrument with strings and wood.
Can we go see that one?
Yep. This is our old traditional.
You can see that in the carving of Angkor.
នៅនឹងប្រវត្តិនៃរូបចម្លាក់តាមឯកសារខ្ញុំថាដឹងតែប៉ុន្តែនេះគឺមានចិត្តច្រើន
How old is this? 100 years?
អានេះឧបករណ៍នេះប្រហែលឆ្នាំមកហើយតាំងពីសំណនបុរាណមកបានឯកសារtradition ប៉ុន្តែគាត់ថាឧបករណ៍មួយនេះគឺមានយូរហើយ We have this one for long time.
Can you make some sound? Music. Bamboo, right?
Bamboo in the wood.
And where's do?
Do, re, mi, fa, sol.
Okay, can I try?
Yeah.
Are you a musician?
No, I'm Wait, which one is do?
Yeah. Do, re, mi.
Okay, I'll just do do. Oh, you really need to strike a little harder.
សម្រាប់ខ្មែរយើងការីបុរាណយើងទៅតាលេខស្គាល់ជាអក្សរ
No, that song was. Thank you.
You'll be in tonight's show. Come on back.
Then people are like, oh, why do we pay for this? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okonchiran.
So usually how
Should we go back this way?
rehearsal, how long do they do rehearsal for every night's show?
So it's kind of varies. They might start about 3 in the afternoon and rehearse roughly till 5. So they start with like just a warm up, stretching. Then they will do muscle memory things to try to do the techniques to get their muscles to remember the balance and the style. And then they'll do a cool down.
Fit, right?
Yeah, it's frustrating working with all these fit people.
The kind of things that they can do, the core that they need to build.
And it's amazing when in high season they'll do 2 shows a night. You know, after one show I'm tired just watching, but it is very, very physical.
The full time for those artists is like 2 weeks, and then you will change.
Right. So we
another
might
batch.
have 2 or 3 different shows that rotate here any given month. So full time for one of our artists is maybe 10 days or so in the big top.
Yeah.
We also do private performances for corporate events, gala dinners.
Hello. So you're the superstar for tonight. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Superstar every night, so he can translate. This is Viban. Viban.
Viban. So how long have you been doing this?
ពីបានអូនឯងហាត់នេះប្រហែលអត់ធ្វើលេងសៀកប្រហែលខែមួយឆ្នាំហើយដូចជា11ឆ្នាំ I've been doing this for about between 10 to 11 years.
10 to 11 years. So
Yeah.
how old are you?
25
So you started young.
Yeah.
We have some questions. So maybe we sit. Can we do sitting?
And then look at the camera.
មើលទៅកាមេរ៉ាមើលទៅកាមេរ៉ា It's a bit
So you started
shy.
very
It's a
young.
bit shy.
He's shy.
You're too shy to face the camera. Come, show our friends. Handsome young man, the star of tonight's show, white gold.
It's interesting. They can perform in front of 350 people, but when you put a camera,
Yeah,
or
absolutely. Because I think when
shy.
they perform, they're in their own zone, right? They're
Yeah.
not really looking at the audience. So before you joined the community school, all the artists come from the community school, right? Before joining the community school, what was you doing?
មុនពេលដែលមករៀននៅសាលាសិល្បៈហ្នឹងសាលាហ្នឹងបានធ្វើអីពីមុនហ្នឹង
មុនរៀននៅសាលារដ្ឋធម្មតាហើយតទៅពេលខ្ញុំចូលទៅមានផ្នែកច្រើននៅក្នុងសាលាហ្វាហ្នឹងខ្ញុំចាប់អារម្មណ៍សៀកហើយក៏ខ្ញុំចូលហាត់សៀក
Before I joined the Phare schools, I was at the public schools, and then I saw that there are so many subjects in public school, and make me more interesting to join the Phare school. So since then, I'm take interested in the circus part.
In the school, in the Phare community school, what did you learn?
រៀនអីខ្លះនៅរៀនមុខវិជ្ជាខ្លះនៅសាលា Phare ហ្នឹង
នៅហាត់សៀកឬក៏
នៅសាលា Phare ទាំងមូលរៀនមុខវិជ្ជាខ្លះ
មាន
មុខវិជ្ជាសម្រាប់សាលា Phare គេប្រដៅបដាលអីខ្លះ
នៅក្នុងសាលាហ្វាហ្នឹងក៏ដោយមានភ្លេងរបាំសៀកអប់រំមានច្រើនផ្នែក
At Phare school they have so many subjects. They were trained musicians, circus, and others kind of the variety of subjects.
What did you teach?
ចូលនេះរៀនផ្នែកអី
ខ្ញុំផ្នែកសៀក
I've studied on the circus.
Is it stringent training? Like how many hours does he have to work on foundations?
បាទអូនឯងរៀនមួយថ្ងៃប្រហែលម៉ោងចាំមុន
នៅបាត់ដំបងពីម៉ោង8ដល់ម៉ោងបានការខ្ញុំនៅសិស្សហើយពីម៉ោង2ដល់ម៉ោង5
When I was a student, I have to learn and practice the circus from 8 until 11, and then 2 to 5 every day.
And does he love what he do now?
អូនឯងស្រឡាញ់មុខវិជ្ជាសៀកហ្នឹងដែរ
ឆ្លាញ់ចូលចិត្តខ្លាំង
And ask him how does he feel, to be the center of attention on the stage
350 people watching.
every day?
រាល់ថ្ងៃអូនឯងសម្ដែងរាល់ថ្ងៃមានអារម្មណ៍អីដែរមានអ្នកចូលស្នា3 400នាក់អញ្ចឹង
មានអារម្មណ៍ថាសប្បាយរំភើបរីករាយទៅពេលខ្ញុំឆ្លើយគេចូលចិត្តគាំទ្រហើយគេផ្ទះដៃមានអារម្មណ៍ថារំភើប
I feel really exciting and happy to see people they are cheering and give me the applause and all the time supporting me. This is very happy for me.
What's next for him? What's his dream?
ចូលឯងសម័យចង់ធ្វើអីទៀតមានការសម័យនឹកឃើញចង់ធ្វើអីថ្ងៃមុខទៅ
ទៅខ្ញុំប្រហែលជាពេលចប់ពិសៀកពេលខ្ញុំដល់វ័យចាស់ដែលថាខ្ញុំទៅពិសៀកអត់រួចខ្ញុំមានខាងផ្នែកមួយទៀតគឺរៀនជួសជុល
In the future, when I'm getting old, I cannot perform circus anymore. I want to learn vocational training like repairing, ជួសជុលអី
ទូរស័ព្ទ
Oh, I want to learn how to repair mobile phones.
Prepare mobile phone.
When I'm getting old.
ពេលខ្ញុំធ្វើសៀកលេងបានពេលខ្ញុំចាស់
At the time when I cannot perform circus anymore.
Okay.
When I might get a bit older.
That's many years. 10, 20
ហើយ
years.
សៀក
តែពេលចាស់ទៅមិនបាក់ដែរព្រោះយើងត្រូវការកម្លាំងត្រូវការអីចឹងតែពេលចាស់ទៅពេលចំណាស់ទៅយើងធ្វើការកើតវាស្រួល
With the circus, a bit difficult for me when I'm getting old. With the circus, I need more energy. When I'm old, I don't have enough energy to perform the circus anymore.
Do young people in Cambodia they all use smartphones now?
យុវជនក្មេងៗនៅខ្មែរចូលចិត្តប្រើទូរស័ព្ទដៃច្រើនទេ
ច្រើនច្រើនប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំរៀនខាងជួសជុលហើយនឹងរៀនតឡើងកម្មវិធីតាមកុំព្យូទ័ររៀនអញ្ចឹង
Yes, a lot of young ones, they use a lot of smartphones, mobile phone. And also I learned how to repair mobile phone and also how to install program in the mobile phones.
Maybe you should go learn coding.
Yeah.
So like what social media platforms are very popular here in Cambodia?
ចូលទៅសារបណ្ដាញព័ត៌មានសង្គមអីដែលពេញនិយមជាងគេនៅស្រុកខ្មែរបណ្ដាញ
ទៅដឹងតា
បណ្ដាញព័ត៌មានសង្គមមានអីពេលមានអីយើងលេងរាល់ថ្ងៃនេះតាមទូរស័ព្ទដៃស្អីគេអានោះហៅអីព័ត៌មានអីគេ
Artists is too busy.
Facebook
Facebook.
Do you use Facebook?
មាន Facebook
Instagram? No Instagram?
Instagram? Yes.
No Twitter.
Well,
No
say
Twitter.
hello to all the
No
Facebook
Twitter.
friends.
Say hello.
Live.
Facebook. Hello,
All the
Facebook.
Hello Facebook
Social media. So you're on social media. Yeah.
ចូលចិត្តលេងមើល Facebook មែនទេ
បាទ
Yes
អត់ទៅពីដែរតែពេលទំនេរមើល
I'm not really addicted to that Facebook but when I have free time
It's good. Yeah.
when free time I'll check Facebook
We will share with you the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. we
នឹង
will.
ចែកវីដេអូចែកគ្នាមើលណា Okay
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Viban.
Show.
Welcome.
Yes. Bye bye. Well, I think the artists have finished their rehearsal and it's been 30 minutes non-stop jumping, doing all these exercise. And I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Craig Dog
Thank
from
you.
the Phare, the Cambodian circus. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
And keep up the good work.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. So on that note, we finished today's live streaming.